Will Smith versus Will Smith in a movie that features Will Smith. Yeah, I can see why the critics didn't really like this, but yo, Rotten Tomatoes, you gotta stop being so mean to action movies that aren't a Marvel movie, okay? Because while you may have given them a low rating, generally, the audience kinda like this movie. I kinda like this movie. I'm a big believer of missing the hype. Sometimes there's just too much conversation around a movie or a TV show or even a song for me to fully enjoy it without having all of that in the back of my head. So, sometimes I let it come out and everybody talk about it, then I forget about it and watch it with new eyes. That's what I wanted to do with this movie because I saw a lot of the trailer and the trailer didn't inspire me. However, this is a very good action movie. This is very, very good. I really liked the start of the movie because it was a lot of show and not tell. And I personally am a big fan of that. We learnt how particular the character of Henry is, portrayed by Will Smith's little mannerisms. Stuff like licking his finger before pulling the trigger shows you that he finds reading the situation of an assassination just as pleasurable as reading a book. We understand that this is a very particular man, and we can see that when you look around his house. Things like bonsai trees show us the attention to detail that this man has in his life. He is a very, very particular and well thought out kind of person. And that's the kind of thing you need to be if you're going to be one of the best, right? And he's definitely one of the best. So far, he's at a kill count of 72. I mean, I wouldn't sleep at night, so I'm not surprised that he's not finding it quite easy to get his head down, you know? And what does any movie do to represent that he's retiring? Sends him fishing. You know, that good old, just gonna go fish and think about life, man. Damn, killing all those 72 people really makes me want to go catch some fish now. It's within the dock that he meets Danny, which he, off the bat, recognizes is clearly an agent sent to tail him. I didn't. I thought she was just a regular person. And he's like, look, you are trailing me. She's like, yeah, fair play. Like, you know, I'm not as good as you. Like, call it quits. He's like, yeah, all right, cool. At this point, I'm sitting watching the movie like, could really do with a gunfight right about now. Which is awesome because the director was also thinking, probably do with a gunfight right about now. We cut back to Jack on the boat, one of Henry's longtime friends. Gunfight. This is what I'm asking for. And straight from this, it doesn't really sort of stop because Henry figures that if someone's after Jack, there's going to be more kill squads on the go. So he goes to Danny's house where obviously there's people about to try and off her. They get the upper hand and they hit the road. Like literally just hit the road. They're like, we'll just go to an island and have a couple pints until this all blows over. While they're on the boat, we learn that Henry has a fear of drowning. And I'm like, I swear that's like Mr. Glass's weakness as well. So he's still alive. He should be fine. You know what I mean? Benedict Wong, one of my favorite people who like, he just pops up and you just go, I love this guy in anything he does. And everything he does is great. He pops up and he's just like, yo, like, I got you, bro, whatever you need. If we need to go kill some people, we can do that. I've got a plane. Let's get the hell out of here. We can't stay on this forever. And randomly, he has a toucan as a best friend. And I'm like, you didn't even need to add that in as a piece of information. But I respect it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Where's the Fresh Prince in all of this? So, we're finally getting round to the part where Will meets Will. You know, Will from Suicide Squad meets the Fresh Prince, pretty much is how I framed this movie in my head. I don't know about you, but that's how I kind of did it. It made lots of the fight scenes way more interesting. I think the only place this movie suffers is where the CGI just clearly looks like CGI people, but you get past that and they don't actually use that too heavy. The de-aging overall doesn't look that bad for when you're watching the movie. It's done well enough that it doesn't take you out of it that much. I do think that maybe you didn't need to make it a young Will Smith, but I understand how that made this story a little bit more interesting. But I think what's good about this movie is they don't rely heavily on that aspect of the CGI, and what makes this movie really interesting to watch is the classic action approach to how do we track action in an interesting way? How do we just make our shots unique enough and follow things enough that it's engaging for the audience? And that's what you should be doing in any sort of action movie. They always say when it comes to effects and all of this kind of stuff, if you can get it on camera, that is the best approach, right? And I think this does it very well, just from little creative camera angles and stuff. And I'm sure there's a lot more special effects working in the background to bring this together, but I like the way they use traditional action approaches to make this work. After their first clash, we really start to understand the dynamic for Fresh Prince, aka Gemini Man. he has been raised by Henry's, not mortal enemy, but you know, like arch nemesis to a way, former mentor, gone crazy, and he's raising his own version of Henry as a son now, right? Clive Owen is raising Henry Jr., and he's called him Jr., as his son. I'm just telling you the stuff I kind of liked and what I thought built a really good start to finish movie, because that's all a movie ever needs to be sometimes, you know? It doesn't need to be some massive blockbuster in the sense that you watched it and you go, wow, I'll never see something like that again. Sometimes movies can just be a great escape, and I thought that this did it really well. I think the things that worked really well moving forward is when we get the next clash between Henry and Junior. You give Will Smith something that, if you give Will Smith a monologue, he's gonna get a touchdown every time. Like he has come up on great monologues. This guy knows how to act and how to deliver, which is why this movie works really well, having two versions of himself. It carries it through pretty well, and you don't worry so much about the de-aging and so on. So obviously, you know, Henry's all like, look, you don't know about your future career. You're going to make some really dodgy choices, man. You're going to do Wild West. You're going to turn down the Matrix. Why would you turn down the Matrix? And, you know, and Fresh Prince is like, man, parents just don't understand. I'm going to be so famous. Look how much money. I got my own TV show right now. You don't know the backlash you're going to... And they go back and forth, and they get into a massive fight about their career, and it's great to watch. Ultimately, this movie plays out how you expect it to play out. But that's not a bad thing. Just because it's a little bit cliche doesn't really make it a bad movie. All of the performances throughout it work really well, and even towards the end, we get a great expectation subversion. Obviously, Junior was always going to switch sides. That's the point in having a bad guy. A bad guy needs to have some form of hubris and overconfidence that ultimately becomes his downfall. And what I like about this, he's still conflicted with his emotions. It's not just a massive change. He isn't the one that puts down Clay at the end of the movie. No. Henry does it. And I think that works really well. And then just as you think the movie's ended, just as you think it's over, like, we get a final player introduced, and it's all like, you forgot about me? I'm the one that made Hitch, bitch! It ends. Henry manages to get Junior a brand new life. And we get this beautiful moment where it's like, you know, take care, kid. You got your whole career ahead of you. Just wait. You're going to be the genie, and you're going to get on TikTok and Instagram, and you're going to be one of the most loved actor influencers in the world. And you're going to have kids, and you're going to marry Jada, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. I don't think it was justified getting the critics rating that it did, but I think that happens with a lot of movies these days. I think we need to not shut the door on what classic action movies are. Look, I grew up on stuff like Arnie and Sylvester Stallone, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and hey, some of those movies are some of the greatest movies that still exist in the action genre anyway. Some of them go beyond massively with the sci-fi elements and things they were pushing way before any of these movies that you praise so heavily now are about. Like, so critics, like, stop just saying what you think the audience are going to want to hear and start giving the audience a bit of a benefit of the doubt so people don't miss out. Obviously, always form your own opinion. That's all you can do when you go and watch something or intake any art, because it is subjective. But sometimes I think there's a little bit of a problem now where movies are getting killed before they even get given a chance. So yeah, let me know what you thought. As always, like, share, subscribe. Seriously, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about this. I'm getting sick and tired of people just insulting me. Yeah, insulting me and not saying what they thought about the content of the video. Like, I don't care if you think I look stupid. Just tell me, did you like the movie or not? Like, you know what I mean? You can do both. Be like, hey, Tumbleweed Head, I thought the movie was so and so. You know what I mean? Yo, Bob Ross's son, why aren't you painting? But I also think that the painting in the background of Star Wars original movies was great. Like, there's other ways you can do it, you know? Be creative. Literally be creative. And don't just come onto my page and complain about the fact that me and I am on my page. Because guess what? You're here too. You've decided to be here. That's not my problem. Just wanted to put that out there. All of the people that are rocking with me, I love you so much. We're going to do this way more. I'm trying to find a way to make sure that the reviews are more balanced, but I can turn them out quicker. Still using the green screen and all the other stuff. Enjoy your fucking day. Why did I make the outro so long?